Welcome to Rachel Has Spoken video blog. This is my first vlog.
Vlog?
Yes, it's my first vlog.
I love it.
Video blog. And I'm here with Gary Dikeos, and we're celebrating June is Audiobook Month. The whole month of June is Audiobook Month, and we're both involved in a project spearheaded by Exie Sands, and we're taking stories that are in the public domain and narrating them and offering them as a stream, and also you can buy it, and it's a donation actually to a good cause. So I wanted to feature Gary because we actually met through audiobooks, didn't we? Tell him how we met, Gary.
We met at the Audio Publishers Association conference in New York in 2010.
I think it was 2010, yeah.
Yeah.
That was my first
That
APAC.
was my first APAC as well. Yeah. And we hit it off right the first moment we met.
We totally
we've
did.
Been friends ever since. And we've been doing audiobooks ever since.
Yeah, that is true. How did you get into doing audiobooks? Like, were you doing voiceover first, or did you just go right into audiobooks?
Yes, I've been doing voiceover for maybe a couple years, and then I took a class with Pat Fraley. And
you were in the class actually, I think, right after me and Amy Rubinate and Heather Henderson and Ariel Delisle. I always pronounce her name wrong. That's so bad of me.
Yeah, and then I went to my first APAC in New York, and I got my first book with Dan Musselman at Books on Tape, Random House West. And then when I was at APAC, I met a whole bunch more publishers, and I've been working with several other publishers ever since.
Sounds good to me. What do you think are the major differences between voiceover and audiobooks? Because to me, they're just totally separate industries, and when I first started, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I think with audiobooks, it's you're not selling something, and you're really imparting the story of an author. So you really want to maintain the author's thoughts through the story. So you're discovering everything as it's happening, as opposed to when you're doing voiceover. You know that this product is good, or you know that this show is great and that you should watch it. But when you're narrating an audiobook, you're really discovering it for the first time yourself, so that the reader can feel like they're discovering it as well.
Yeah, that's so nice. And like about point of view, actually, that it's the author's point of view. It's not actually your own point of view. It's like you're bringing to life the point of view of the author, which I think is unique.
That's exactly right. And then you have to like maintain that and not like overact or overreact when you're reading it. You're in the moment as it's happening.
Yeah, that's another good point actually too, because audiobooks are long form. So it's not like in a 30-second spot or 60-second spot where you have to grab their attention and get their attention really quick. It's like you have to make sure that somebody's going to want to listen to you for hours at a time. So yeah, that's true. You know, you do a ton of accents, which I think is so cool. And I want to know how you do that. Like, how did you learn how to do that? Or did you always know how to do accents? Or...
Well, when I was a kid, I just loved the way people spoke, and I lived all over the world. So every time I was, in a different country, I would like record all of the commercials, and I would like try to copy them all. And in the voices that of the big announcers in Mexico, everything's over the top there. And when I would go and watch a movie, I would take my tape recorder and I would go to the movie theaters and I would tape all of the movie. And I would go back home and then I would listen and try to copy every single voice that was in the movie. And so that I just like was a parrot when I was a kid. I just loved imitating people. So as a result, I learned by ear, and I could pick up accents that way.
Wow, that's incredible. So if you get a book and it calls for an accent that you maybe weren't familiar with, you don't have any fear. You just learn it. How do you do that?
Well, if it's a book where the main character has an accent that I don't know, I will go out and buy a CD to learn how to do that accent. Maybe spend 2 or 3 days with earphones on. But if it's just an accent that comes up in the book, then I just kind of go by a country that's nearby, and I use like a little bits and parts of accents to like makeshift an accent. Yeah. And it seems like you don't have to have the accent exactly right. It's like you have to have that flavor, and you have to be consistent. I think. A lot of people think that too much of an accent is just too big. And so if you just take a couple of maybe parts of the accent and use it, then just to get the flavor of it is enough.
Right. How do you prepare for an audiobook? Like, you get the phone call, you have a new book. What do you do?
The first thing I do is I read the book.
Okay, that's important.
Just so that I'm not like caught unawares. If like a character has a New York accent on page 97, and I have to go back, and
that would be a problem.
That's the main reason. Also, if there are any words I don't know how to pronounce, I do the research and I figure out how to pronounce them. And then the character work, I kind of want to know the dialects that I'm going to be needing throughout the book. So I mark all the characters so that I know when they're coming up and what accent they have, and what they sound like. Right.
What is your favorite kind of audiobook to do? Like, what genre do you like the most? And is there a book that you've done that was your favorite book? Or?
Well, I usually narrate thrillers and mysteries because I have a resonant voice.
Yeah.
So, but I also do science fiction. I also do history. I also do young adult. I've done a couple of romances, and basically everything. But my favorite book that I ever did was one that has drama, comedy, and heart. Those are my favorite. And there's been one so far that I've done that encompasses all of that, and it's called Dove Season, and it's
fiction.
It's fiction. Yeah. It's actually. I can't remember. it's
great, or you mean it's written by what was the ...
I was trying to think of the genre it is.
Oh, okay.
It's a crime fiction.
Crime fiction.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you doing that. Because Gary has an amazing voice. I mean, he's got a great voice anyway, and he's great. We love him. But when you put on a pair of headphones and listen to this guy tell you a story, it's unbelievable. His voice is so beautiful. I'd listen to him recite the phone book, as they say. No, but seriously, he's got a great voice. I want to know what you chose for the Going Public in Shorts, this project that we're doing. What story did you choose, and why were you drawn to that particular story?
The story I chose was called The Open Window by Saki, H.H. Munro, an British writer from the late 1900s.
Do you do it in a British accent?
Late 1800s, early 1900s. Part of it is a British accent. The characters are British. The narrator I chose to be just American. But the characters are British, and it has a lot. It's biting humor, like black humor, and it has a twist at the end.
Nice. Well, you can check out Gary's story on the link on my blog. It's going to be on the Going Public website. It's going to be available for streaming and for download. If you decide to purchase it, you're actually making a donation to a charitable cause. So you might want to think about doing that. And I think that's all. We're going to end it here because we're going to try not to do any editing, because editing is not my forte. So thank you so much. Absolutely.